You are listening to the Movement Therapy Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Movement Therapy Podcast. I'm joined by Edwin Smith. Thanks, Ed, for coming in and joining us today. Ed was one of my clients for a few years now. I can't remember how long, but started the movement therapy journey. We just started treating your shoulder from tennis.
Yep.
You know, we were tennis mates and playing in the local comp, and then your journey, which I'm sure we'll hear about today, has taken you to many, many different places. You know, now we're talking about super long, ridiculous runs, which I'm sure we'll get to. So, yeah, Edwin, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. It's yeah, we've got a long intertwined history, I think, and you're a big part of my journey from tennis into running, and I feel like I'm constantly back here for different injuries and different things that I'm dealing with. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yep, yeah, it's going to be a long journey. But first, happy Australia Open Eve. I think that's the bit I just wanted to say. 2 tennis players in the room. That's never happened before on the Movement Therapy Podcast. So
Am I your first tennis guest?
You are my first tennis guest.
There you go.
So I'm super happy about that.
Australia Open.
Oh, it may as well be Australia Day. Come on.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be, absolutely.
Midday.
Yeah, Australian Open Eve.
The 1 point challenge was fun too. I like that.
Actually, did watch that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Saw a bit of that.
There's a controversial discussion about that, whether people think it's worth $1 million. Firstly, I love that an amateur won it, but
yeah,
it's a lot of money.
It's if like Yannick Sinner had won it, I think it would have been awful.
Well, I reckon
But the fact that like some coach from Sydney.
Yeah, I would
cool.
like to think that one of the professionals would have given it to charity or something, maybe.
Yeah, it's a lot
but
of
you
money.
can't guarantee.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Anyway, we could talk about tennis. That could be what today is all about.
Tennis.
Really, just tennis.
An AO preview.
Okay, let's get into you. Look, we've been mates for a good few years. I don't even know when we first met.
I think you align pretty nicely with me moving to Wollongong.
True.
So I've been in Wollongong for 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Because we were in the same tennis team.
Yeah.
And
That's where it all started.
Yeah.
The Tuesday night comp.
Tuesday night comp.
Which we did win, but you weren't in that team when we won. Like, you didn't play that night.
No, I had
Nigel
to substitute my brother, and he would never let me live that down.
Absolutely
because, like, we were the best team, I think, that year.
Absolutely.
And we deserved to win the comp.
Yeah.
But then I think I had a work commitment or something, and I was like,
Yes.
oh damn, I can't play in the final.
Yeah.
And he sent me a photo with like the cup after, like we won.
The cup's still in my room upstairs. It's
But, look, it's one of those like it was a great season.
Yeah.
Great like
It was a great comp.
like I think we did really well, and
Yeah.
then just missing out on the final. It's like it's kind of doesn't feel complete.
Not at all. No, because I think we had 2 subs. It was just me and Jeremy. And then it was like, it doesn't even feel like a win. It just feels like...
Yeah, just some random.
just a random game. But so you moved to Wollongong 4 years ago. Did you come straight from Batemans Bay?
No, from Sydney. So I was in Sydney for 10-ish years. Like,
Right.
yeah, working and living.
Yeah.
Like lived in Glebe, bit
Cool.
of Newtown and Marrickville, so kind of inner west.
Yeah. What was the
area.
move down here?
I remember there was a day, like I grew up in Batemans Bay. So
Yep.
I grew up in the coast.
Different from Batemans Bay to
Very
Sydney.
different. Went to uni in Canberra.
Oh,
which
God's
is-
country.
Which is very different.
For anyone who doesn't know, I'm from Canberra.
And like I liked my time in Canberra. And I was had a really good experience there.
That's not usually what people say.
Yeah, I mean I didn't do anything. I just like went to uni and then went to the pub and like
There
that
it
was
is.
and coached tennis actually.
There you go.
But then, so I kind of coast kid, but then was in the city for work, and then during the pandemic started my own business. And so that was like lined up with COVID.
Was that because of COVID, or were you
Yeah.
going to do that anyway?
No, because of COVID.
Really?
So that kind of pushed me to quitting full-time work, and then, it kind of happened because of COVID, because I was working in TV, and they were like I was working on TV shows, and you can't really make large TV productions in COVID because you can't have 200 people in a room. That's not very safe. And so they're like, oh, everything's on hold, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll start my business and see what happens.
That's unreal.
But as part of that process, part of COVID, I remember my wife and I, after one of the lockdowns, because you're in Glebe, so you kind of, 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from the beach. So it's a bit of like a mission to go to the beach. So I was like,
Sure.
we've been stuck inside for weeks, months probably without going to the beach. I'm like, right, first day, second day out of lockdown, we're going to go to the beach. And we went to like Coogee Beach, like went for a little adventure, and you know, you have to park a kilometre away,
Yep.
and like there's people
And pay,
everywhere. Yeah, it's just like it's a shit fight. And then we'd been having like little discussions about like, you know, should we buy a house? Where should we live? And we hadn't really got very far. And then jumped in the water. The water was nice, but then like in between us, there was just like a plastic bag floating next to us. And there was just like people everywhere just like screaming. And then I remember Chelsea looked at me and she's like, I think we should move to Wollongong. And I was like, and I'd kind of been angling for it because I was like, I was starting to think that I could work for myself. So I was like, I can work from wherever.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in Sydney, where she was still kind of working in Sydney.
Yep.
But she was like, want to move to Wollongong? We're like, yes.
That's
Let's get out of
such
it.
a cool. Do you like really remember that?
Literally
sort of
remember
day?
the plastic bag in
Wow.
the water. Just the water was feral and there was just people everywhere. And I was like, we need to go to like a nice coastal town that like.
Love it.
And I think a lot of people did that in COVID, like in lockdown, right? Where it's like you can't do anything, and so you get stuck in the same place, and then you're like, actually, I hate Sydney. And I still go back to Sydney all the time, and there's
Sure.
lots of mates there, but it was nice to come here, and we bought here as well. So
Yep.
that was probably the
I mean, in
main
that
factor.
time, that would have been great.
I think we missed the boom a little bit. Like it was kind
Okay.
of towards the end of, or like after COVID that we ended up moving. But still, it was, you
Yeah.
know, compared to Sydney,
Oh,
like
heaps
trying to
better.
buy an
Yeah.
apartment in Sydney was like, yeah, good luck.
Just loose change.
Yeah.
Tell me about the work in Sydney though. Like, how did you get into? What was your actual role?
So I was like a social media producer. So I studied journalism
Yeah.
before kind of social media was a thing,
Yeah.
really. Because I was a sport guy.
Yep.
And you know, when you play sports, I played a lot of tennis, but I was never good enough to be a pro tennis player, which for, you know, a small part of my life was
You're
like
selling yourself short, mate.
it's like I was
Your
on
net
the court.
game is.
Oh, yeah, look, if it was purely net game, and you know, the other team doesn't have as much of a net game, and they're younger, and you don't
a
have the
couple of
doubles
things.
experience, then we will be sweet. So I was like, you know, I think a lot of people do that, right? Where they're like, I want to be a sports person. I'm not very good, so I'll just like work in sport. And so I wanted to be like a journo.
Yep.
So I was like, I could be a tennis journalist and travel the world writing about tennis, and that turns out there's not many jobs being tennis journos.
It's pretty niche.
Like two probably, like in Australia, I think.
And they're already taken?
If that, yeah. But I did I did an internship at like the Tennis Australia magazine, and like
That's awesome.
wrote a couple of articles for them back in the day. And then, yeah, kind of as I knew how to tell a story from it, I knew like what people would engage with, I guess. Like I kind of, and I was young. They're like, well, you can work for us, but then you can also do our social media. So you can write articles for our website, which is what I want to do, but then you can manage our Facebook and like, oh, should we start an Instagram account? What do you think? And I'm like, yeah, okay, Instagram sounds like a, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years, 12 years ago, like, oh, should we do Instagram? Yeah, like, why not? What's the harm? And then, yeah, I've kind of floated around and then ended up at Channel 10 for like 5 years. And so I was just a senior social media producer there, basically working on big, shiny reality TV shows and watching them, trying to work out what the funny, interesting, relevant bits were to share onto those accounts to, you know, spark conversation.
I've always wondered who did that.
Yeah, it was a really cool job. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you're kind of thinking, all right, well, what else can we do outside of the show? So most of it was, you know, clip out the funny bits, clip out the crazy bits from the show, get people to watch was the end goal. But then, you know, my thinking was always, all right, well, people have seen this, so can we do like an exclusive interview or like behind the scenes content? And so we were doing this in 2016, 2017,
Wow.
2018 kind of thing, where I think even now it's, you know, obviously content is a big part of the internet and social media, but it was quite, I guess, like forward thinking of not just like showing people the same things that they'd already seen. It's like, what else can we kind of give them? And I always think back to those days because, you know, now I run my own business working with small and large businesses on their social media. And I tend to always go back to those like TV days where I learned so much about what people actually want from social media, which isn't, you know, even we'd have shows, large shows, and then the marketing team would come to us and say, hey, put this photo that says I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, 7:30 tonight on Channel 10 on our Facebook and our Instagram. And I'd be like, why? Why are we doing this? Like, what is the point of putting a photo? The show's on tonight.
Yeah.
The people that are following the account, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, they probably already know, the show's on. Are they going to like be excited by this? Probably not. Like, what can we do, like a preview with, you know, one of the hosts, or like what else can we give them? We can still have that message in there somewhere to like get them to think about it. And I think that lesson was like, I guess it was taught by, you know, like work with a couple of really good people, but also like self-taught in a way, but really rammed into me now, which is like for any business, I'm like, you can't just be trying to sell stuff on social media because it doesn't work. Even back then it didn't work, and it's even harder now. So yeah, really interesting, like, I guess, career that I had. Like, went to Africa. Yeah. Worked in Africa for like 3 years. Well, not 3 total, but like 3 seasons of I'm a Celebrity. And
that's
like,
so cool.
You know, drive to work and like go past zebras on the road in like this remote area in like the middle of South Africa. And
still the same thing, just content creation for them.
It was crazier over there because it was live. So you had, like, with my other main show was Survivor. So Survivor's like pre-filmed. So you've got like a week to watch the episode and be like, okay, we'll design these like assets to go out, or like images, or okay, that moment was good. We'll get a photo with like the eliminated contestant and we'll do these things. Whereas I'm a Celeb was like, you watch it an hour in advance and then it goes to air. So you kind of trying to make up things as you go. But that made it kind of fun because then you can do cool, more like reactive content, which I think is really fun. And yeah, we did some really cool things. Like, I think they still do it where when a celebrity gets, you know, like eliminated, and again, most of the time, like I think most TV shows would be like, here's a photo, like farewell to this celebrity. And we're like, well, what else can we do? What's interesting? Okay, well, I mean, in this jungle eating rice for 2 weeks, let's get as soon as they're out, as soon as they're done with like medical checks, we'll get them whatever food they want and we'll film them like eating a mad burger. And so we'd sit them down and be like, hey, like, we're the social team, we'll just sit down and, you know, we'll bring you some food. And then they'd just be like, oh my God, this is like the best burger ever. And that would be like a piece of content that we would use. Yeah. And it would always go off because it's like something different. Yeah. And like a bit more than what you'd already seen on the screen.
And it wasn't all like prefabricated.
Yeah, no, and you get like genuine reactions. Yeah. Like, I still think of all the people the celebs met, and like met some really cool people. Like, I think we were the favourites because we just gave them food as soon as they finished, where, you know, the publicity team's like, oh, come do this like radio interview. And then we're like, come have some food with us. And they're like, oh my God, you guys are the best.
That's so cool.
But yeah, it was a crazy little period of my life that...
So you lived there for the whole season?
Yeah.
So it was like, how long's that?
It kind of varied each season, but like minimum kind of 2 months. Wow. So like a good chunk of time, like, where it becomes your life. It's like, you know, you're working like 14-hour days, getting paid, you know, pretty terribly. You know, like, you're not getting paid well.
Don't worry, I'll cut it.
Yeah. And like, you know, they don't really give you overtime. It's like, oh, you're working in TV, like TV's cool, so we're not gonna...
I mean, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I got to go to Africa, you know, work with celebs. Like,
I was like, it's the most tired I've ever been. Like, you know, you're getting up at 4 a.m, like starting work at 4 a.m. to match up with time zones in Australia as well. So it's like, just...
Oh, so they filmed it for the purpose of Australia, obviously.
Yeah. But they're making over there, so by the time, I think it was like 10 a.m. African time, it'd be 7:30 over here. So you're basically like trying to cram a whole episode of like content and like a content plan in a few hours, and like, yeah, all this crazy stuff. But yeah, it was a good time, and like got to know Chris and Julia Morris, like the hosts. Yeah. Chris isn't the host anymore, but Dr. Chris, that is.
Yes.
Like really well, because as part of what we did, again, like, we didn't want to just be like, here's a photo of like the episode. So before each episode, like, so they get ready in their little, like, you know, they do makeup, and then they go up to the studio where they like host the show, and I would get 5 minutes with both of them each morning. And so like my job was literally to rock up with like a phone and be like, do this thing, film this video for me, like, what, or I'd be like, what should we do today? Like, what's...
So you already had stuff planned that you needed them to do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I'd be like, I've got nothing. because it's 5 eps a week. I'm like, I've got no ideas. Like, what should we do? And just did like the randomest, funniest stuff. Like, and because Dr. Chris and Julia, like, they're very like incredibly funny. So I'd be like, oh, this would be funny, and they'd be like, yeah, but then like, what if we did that? I'm like, oh, that's way funnier. Yeah.
Are they funny in person
100%
as well? Really?
Julia is way funnier because I think she's quite filtered, like on TV. Like she has to kind of tone it back, whereas in real life she's just like,
that's so
next
good.
level. And yeah, Chris is like, I still talk to him and
really
still have like a bit to do with him. He's got a pet care range, and so I've helped him a little bit with that. But he's like one of the great people, very funny.
That's so good.
Very good looking, very nice, and I'm like,
he's like the peak of charisma, right?
literally like to the point where some of the ideas that I did was like, I got him to hold up like a pack of like Bonds undies.
Yeah.
Because he looks like the face of Bonds, and then be like, I don't see it. And like and that, it would take like a minute to film. We'd publish it on the channels. They'd go up and film the show, and that would be like the best performing piece of content of the day.
It's like giving a kid a present. They play with the box.
Yeah. But it's crazy to think back. But yeah, it's certainly formed a lot of my thinking, and even now it's a good. Like, it helps me get work because I'm like, I used to work at Channel 10, and everyone's like, ooh, Channel 10.
It is cool. I mean, I must say, in the early days of our friendship, when getting on the social media and you suddenly have a picture in the Channel 10 studio, and it's like, well, hang on, you're just on the project. Like, what's happening there? And like, I didn't really know much about it. I knew you were in media and that sort of stuff, but we never really went into. We were too busy playing tennis.
Too busy winning competitions.
Too busy winning comps. So yeah, it's really cool to see. I mean, it's such a different role to, I guess, the norm. It's a very niche-y type role.
And it was a role like really that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was one person before me, and because we're talking 2015, 2016, like.
Yeah.
So even at that stage, like, people they're not taking social media seriously as like a job in most industries. Like, I think in TV, because, TV is kind of like a content game. So I think they were like, well, we can see that, it's an important part of the business. But even so, like, there's probably 3 of us and covering every show that's on Channel 10, which is like, you got MasterChef, Bachelor, I'm a Celebrity, Survivor, like, as well as sports. I had Big Bash for a long time. Like, there's so much that, for a couple of people to cover that, a lot of shows didn't get the love that, like an I'm a Celebrity did. I was just lucky that was always over summer, so it was like the one kind of show. So it was like, right, we focus on that, where, I think I was lucky with the timing of kind of finishing uni right when social media was starting to be a thing, and being young enough to learn as soon as I got out of uni about what worked. And then, had some cool experiences, and then I think I've got a good eye for like content, like what's interesting and like what people care about, and so that definitely helps.
Yeah. So what was the transition out of that role? Obviously COVID and sort of forced you to, not forced, but was that the encouragement there of going?
Well, so I was at 10 for about 5 years, and the nature of TV is it's very like secular, so it's like, word secular, like it's a year
cyclical.
Cyclical, that's a good one. So it's like a year of the same shows every year. Right. So you start with I'm a Celebrity, MasterChef and Bachelor's in the middle of the year, Survivor's towards the end. You've got some Big Bash, and then it starts again. Yeah. And so I'd done 3 years. My 2 shows were Survivor and I'm a Celeb. I'd done 3 years of working on them, coming up with the strategy, working out what we post, basically anything that was posted on the accounts. Over that period, I was doing, and for me, I was at a point where I was like, "Why? I'm kind of like want something different, because there's only so many like ideas you can come up with, and like even just like a creative challenge." So I left 10 and went. This is 2019, and in all my wisdom, I was like, I'm going to go freelance. So a lot of like TV people are freelancers, so they don't work at Channel 10. They work at like a production company, but then they go from like show to show, depending on which production company is making the shows. And so I was like, well, I could just jump around and kind of go, I want to work on this show, and then finish up that contract, and then go over there. I can do some travel. I can like do some, some different things to kind of, just work on different shows. And so I worked on Love Island
Nice.
for one season, which was the 2019. I think it's like season 2 or 3, which is in Fiji, which is cool.
That's cool.
Working with Channel 9, which is very different to 10.
In what way?
A bit more serious. A
Really?
bit more like rigid, more processes, more like approvals, like
More red tape.
yeah. And like, you know, Channel 9's like the big dog, right? Like Channel 9's the and 10's always the one that's like at the bottom that's trying to like catch up and so I did that, and so the contract I signed was with Love Island, and then I'll do The Voice. So I did The Voice, which started filming end of 2019, and then that was obviously when 2020 was COVID. And so I had a good experience on that show, like something different, you know, big kind of shiny show, not as fun as what I was used to. So I was a bit more like, you know, The Voice takes, it's not serious, but it's a very like, we're a big, proud show that like, you can't take the piss. You can't like joke around. This is like people trying to make a career in music. The coach is like very, very serious. Like, and that was, about halfway through the filming of that show. So a lot of that's pre-recorded. Was when COVID happened, and so that was when I started to go, okay, well, this COVID thing's happening. Maybe I'll just I just started an Instagram account called The Social Sandwich, and was like, originally I thought that I would work with like TV people. I was like, I reckon, you know, like Julia Morris might need my help to fine tune what she's posting and like get better ideas and get more consistent, and like just wants, because they always have questions when you're talking to them, like, oh, what should I do on how do I get more followers on my Instagram and that kind of stuff. And so that was how it started, and then the kind of contract finished up on The Voice. COVID was there. I think I was pretty lucky again, timing wise, because at that time I was like unemployed, so I could get the like benefits from like COVID. So I was basically like on Centrelink, and so that kind of helped at first when I was making no money from this new business that I was thinking about. I was like, at least I can get some money, and kind of it was like a little safety blanket that I could use.
Yeah,
they
so
like boosted up all the money that you could get from Centrelink, so I was like still getting enough to like pay rent and all that. So I could be like, right, I got 6 months of learning and trying to get some clients and do that. And by like the end of 2020, I think I was like, all right, cool.
That's cool.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
So the creation of the Social Sandwich Instagram, was that in the process of going, this is going to be my business? Or was it like, I just want to play around and see if I can get a couple of clients?
More the latter. It was never like I'd always kind of thought, I guess, oh, one day I want to be my own boss. Because, you know, in the corporate world, even like TV, it seems great and glamorous, and it is, but there's like so much like politics, and like, you know, you're always like, there's always things going on, and people that are like, oh, why did you post this? Or like, you know, they're like, well, we need to focus on this angle for the episode, or like, you know, all these things that you have to do, and it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to do what I think is the right way of doing this. And so, I'd always thought maybe one day I'd do my own thing. COVID just fast-tracked it by like probably 5 years. I think it was like, well, now's a good time to test it out and like, you know, sink or swim stuff. And originally I was like, I just want to stuff around and see if I can get some followers and get people interested. And then once I started getting a few bits of work, and I think being like, hey, I'm formally Channel 10, here's all my secrets, helped me kind of launch things. And then my next goal was like, well, I don't want to go back to work. So how do I keep making enough money that, you know, I don't have to go back to work and don't have to go back into that world. So
it's irony that your job is so creative, and yet you have to follow all these rules.
And I think what I noticed happen was, as people took social media more seriously, more people wanted like their opinion. And then you ended up getting like people with 30 years of marketing experience coming over the top and being like, well, actually, this is how you should be doing it. And I'd be like, well, I disagree. That's just not like what social media is. And like for me, social media is like a content entertainment tool. For most people, social media is a marketing tool. It's a place where you go and sell stuff, and you promote stuff, and you share your messages, and then people see that and then they buy your product or they watch your show on TV. Whereas I was always like, no, that's, if you look at how people use social media, that is not what they do. They don't go on there to like buy stuff. Like sometimes you do, but most of the time you're just bored. You're like waiting for the train to come or like waiting for dinner to cook. You go and scroll your social media. And so you're not going to follow a page that is sharing like boring stuff. That's like almost my main lesson is like, don't be boring. Because if you're boring, no one's going to care. And then it's not going to help those business goals where like obviously you want businesses want to sell products or to get people to their website or to get people to book in for physio work, right? Like, but if all you share is like, hey, come do a physio class with us, like if your leg hurting, like we can help you. Like, it's not that interesting. Whereas if, you know, you do a podcast and you do these other things that like get people invested, then they'll do it. Then they'll do the thing that you want them to do. And I saw that happening at 10 where I had a lot of freedom about what I posted and then it started becoming, actually I need to post this because we need to make sure people watch the show tonight because our ratings are going down because no one's watching TV anymore. Which is the other part
it's not because you're not posting things.
Yeah. It's like my post is probably going to help, but like, yeah, naturally I think people are maybe not watching free-to-air TV as much as maybe what we thought.
Have you heard of Netflix?
Yeah. Netflix is kind of a big thing.
But that's so true. I mean, when we've done a lot of marketing stuff this year and sort of the tail end of last year, and the posts that we have found do the best were not the posts that we've researched. And, you know, I used to do these big education posts, so the series of episodes, and they get a handful of, you know, reactions. They get no clicks or interests or anything. And then we post a dumb, you know, movement challenge where we all fall over and everyone laughs.
And it's like, whoa,
and that gets like 40,000 views.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why don't we just doing that? It's so much easier.
100%. And I think, you know, there's different goals that you have for posts is something that I try and speak about as well. Like sometimes you just need to share something that's fun, get that kind of mass exposure so people are thinking about you. So if someone's sitting at home watching that's cooked their leg running, they're like, oh, that's right, movement therapy. Like I've heard about them or I've been there before. That's the reminder to come and book in. And so the messaging in that post doesn't need to be, hey, book in with us. It's that subtle like reminder and repetition. And something that I'm big on is just like consistency. It's like you need to stay posting consistently so then you show up, you're top of mind when people are thinking about you or ready to do the thing that you want them to do.
100%. So our journey, injury-wise,
I was going to say, we talked a lot about like my career.
I know this is really, it's awesome.
Nothing to do with sport.
Yeah, let's go into health, shall we?
Yeah.
No, I think it's honestly with these chats, I have no idea where they're going.
No, I think it's fun.
Literally every one of them, I've been like, wow, this is not where I expected to end up.
Well, we're over here now.
How do I get back to where I want it to be? No, it's really cool. But I do want to transition into sort of where obviously you knew me from tennis. Now I remember treating your shoulder first.
Yeah.
And that was the big one.
What?
That was a long time.
I'm still bummed. I'm still worried about it.
You just don't play tennis.
Yeah, it's part of the semi-retirement.
I don't want to say, look, it wasn't entirely my fault that it's still bunged. But
what did you do?
Well, no, it was the fact that you didn't keep coming.
Oh, no, no, it's 100% my fault. And I was bad at the exercises for sure. And the hard thing that I found with tennis, like obviously tennis was like my sport growing up. I played tennis at a like somewhat high level, like never good enough to beat anything.
How many times were you playing a week?
As a kid?
Yeah.
As a teenager, probably like 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And like I was doing squad trainings, I was part of like regional teams, like regional squads, went to like, you know, had a decent national ranking of like a couple hundred at some stage. And like, but I would just never, you know, there was always people better than me at state level, and then there was always people better than those people once you got above. And I was like, well, I'm like 3 levels behind getting to like any level where it becomes, you know, useful. I've lost where I was going. So played a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
So tennis was a big part of my life. I kind of moved into coaching as well. So did a lot of coaching through uni, and then I played a little bit of tennis in Sydney, like a bit of badge in Sydney, and then was kind of on and off, and then moved here, jumped in with you guys. But the thing I've always found hard with tennis is you have to be playing like at least once a week, like if not more.
Yep.
And we spoke about this, right? Where you're like, you probably should organise a hit once a week.
Yep.
as well as the night comp. But then even the night comp, every second week it'd be rained out, or you know we'd be on a bye, and so you'd be playing once a fortnight. And each time I was playing, I was like, man, my shoulder's just cooked. And then my serve used to be like my weapon. It was like my biggest weapon. And then I was like, this sucks. Like I'm rolling in my serve when I know that I can do more, but I can't. And so I think that was when, we went from like teammates. And I think we were sponsored by Movement
We
Therapy,
were sponsored
right?
by
So I was like,
MT, yeah.
Hey, I probably need to come and actually see you.
So
And
that
was
worked.
where, we obviously came in and was like, I need some help, please.
So this, I wanna get into your mind here. This is cool because these sessions were, I mean, yes, it came from just a volume thing. You weren't doing enough. You were underloaded for the force of what you wanted to do on a Tuesday comp, which was you were playing good people, and so you always tried a little bit harder, and you just weren't happy with.
And do you know the
mediocrity?
The worst part as well is because it was a load thing, and it wasn't used to like serving 50 times or whatever you end up doing. So progressively throughout the night, it would get worse. It would get sorer. But then the majority of the time, I'd finish the night by playing singles, where you're serving twice as much, trying to serve harder. In doubles, you can kind of, you're not serving as hard. It's a bit, you can hide behind it a bit. Whereas in singles, I'm like, shit, I've got to try and like hit a couple of bombs here, otherwise I'm going to lose. And then like the competitive edge comes out, and I'm like, I'll go for a couple of hard ones, and like I'll deal with the consequences tomorrow. Like she'll be right.
I've got Ethan on speed dial.
Ethan, it happened again. But I always found that definitely didn't help. Was like the format of the night, where it's like
for sure.
It was a perfect storm of it got harder regardless, but then the singles is the hardest, part of tennis. And
plus, it was already the end of the night.
Yeah.
You'd already worked a full day. Then you come at 7 o'clock and you expected to play 3 sets with a singles at the end at a pretty high level. Yeah, it's a pretty big recipe for not a great shoulder.
Yeah.
So you came in. I remember having the chat of that. We sort of figured out what was going on with the shoulder, and then sort of the whole thing of me saying, look, you need to do a fair amount of work if you want to keep that sort of level going. I know we talked about gym, we talked about EP. You did hit the EP sessions. Maybe you hit the EP for your knee. Okay, we'll get to that. But because let's be honest here.
You can be brutal here. I don't mind. I can be hurt.
You weren't super keen on coming in. Am I right in that? Was it?
No, I think the problem is I want a quick fix, if I'm being honest. Like I want to I want it to be sorted, and it was just so long. Like it was such a long process, and like the like when I started feeling good, it would be like ups and downs, and so it'd feel good for like a couple of games, and then it'd still be cooked by the end.
Yep.
And then I can't. I mean, this is a bad mindset to have, but like the gym doesn't interest me, and like I've never been able to like do gym stuff. So then you're like, well, you need to do it at home. I try to do the home stuff, and then like I don't have the commitment to do it. So I was like, it ended up just being like, well, I can manage. Like it hurts by the end of the night. I'm not getting better. I'm not getting worse. Like, I think it was laziness more than anything, to be honest. Of just like, I know that it's going to take 6 months, 12 months of like putting in the work to do it, and then even just like the infrequency of playing tennis as well, I think kind of impacted it, where I was like, like I said, every second week you're kind of in and out of the team, or like, you're on a bye. I feel like it was raining a lot as well.
It was raining a lot that year, 100%. But this is really interesting because you probably form like 80% of our clients of that quick fix model.
100%.
Like what was the expectation going in? Obviously I hadn't assessed it before we started, and then suddenly breaking this down and going, oh, this is a long-term thing. What was the expectation that you sort of, or the model that you wanted? Like how many sessions did you initially think, or what was the treatment that you expected?
Well, I think I always every time I came, I always felt like the treatment was way better than what I thought. Like I think it was way more detailed than what I had envisaged. Like I thought that I'd come in and you'd be like, do some better warm-ups and like at home, like, move your, because it was like a rotator cuff in the shoulder, right? So like, move your shoulder, with like a band and then you'll be sweet. Where I think what you kind of, and something that I don't think other physios that I'd spoken to had talked about before was like all the other factors that go into like an injury or like an issue with your body. It's like, it's not just the one place. It's like, there was like things going with the back and then like the wider shoulder and like all of these other things. And so I think I probably just came in very naively and I hadn't really, like would have been just like 30, 31 kind of thing. I've had a pretty good run of injury. Like I haven't had a bad like, ACL or done anything really bad. Like the shoulder's the main thing that I've had. And so apart from like a sprained ankle or something. Yeah. And so I think I just came in being like, I don't know what's going to happen or like what the expectation is. And maybe I'm always optimistic. So I was like, I'll go to the physio, sort it out, see Ethan a couple of times, get some exercises, do them a few times. And then, I'll keep playing tennis and then like it'll just gradually build back up and then I'll be sweet.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
and then
clearly
it didn't happen like that.
No. And like, I think part of it is like a mindset thing now where it's like, we laughed about before where I haven't played tennis in a while. And part of me is scared to go back because I know the moment I go back, I'm like, oh, my bloody shoulder. Like it's still there. What I'm interested in now is, and we've had a few physio journeys. I'm sure we'll get to the next physio journey.
We'll get to the next one.
But in my second physio journey, I have started regularly doing like strength Pilates. Yep. And so I do feel like my body's in like a better position. Like it's at least getting some of that strength work. It's not all focused on the shoulder, obviously, but there is part of me that's like, I wonder now that I'm like actually doing some like flexibility work and like strength work and loading and like, using some decent weights. Like if now I go back, how different will it be? I don't think it will be, but I'm hopeful that maybe when I get the racket back.
Yeah, we can discuss that if you want my opinion later on.
No, you said it'll be sweet.
Absolutely,
it's like 700%.
No dramas. Yeah, I'll book in February and then we'll go from there. Yeah. No, I think that's this is really cool. So the initial journey from let's break this into, you've had 3 journeys mainly from memory, but the shoulder initially, and you, to be fair, you came a fair bit for that shoulder. Yeah. Like I saw you for a good few months for that. Yeah. And I could definitely sense the frustration, but you kept playing, you did well. Yeah. And there was that point of going, okay, we're sort of hitting these plateaus. Yeah. You've got to figure out what you want to do. Yeah. And we sort of agreed you didn't want to go to the gym, and that's sweet. You didn't want to sort of keep coming to me, and then that sort of point, and I know the comps kind of finished, and you did a couple of tournaments, but then it was sort of like, was the choice to stop tennis because of the shoulder, or was that it's just timing? It's too much effort to keep playing. Like, where was your head at there?
Well, really, I'm like, I still think of myself as a tennis player. Like, I don't feel like I'm not a tennis player, and it has been a while since I've probably played. But really, what happened was, the start of, when was it? Or middle of like 24 maybe, or the start of 24. I was still playing. I joined a different comp.
That's right. Yeah.
And first week of that comp was a rainy night. We're playing on synthetic grass, and
oh, that's right.
That's when
This is journey number 2.
Up until then, like I hadn't I was still like, I want to play. Yeah. I mean, I was literally night 1, fell over playing doubles. Yeah. Do my PCL. Yeah. And that was like, injury 2. Yeah. As a 30-year-old, I'm like, oh, this is what they say when you get to 30 and you start injuring yourself, and like, it's not just like, and it was such a little innocuous fall. Like I was just running for a ball and kind of just like tripped over my feet, and I was like, that was weird. Yeah. And I was like, oh, my knee's really sore. Kept playing, won the.
I did remember you saying that.
Won the set, which I think is very important to note. And then the next morning, I was like, oh no.
I don't condone anyone who breaks their PCL to continue playing their sport.
It felt like just a little, almost like a cramp, or like it felt like I could just run it off. It was really weird. But then the next morning, I woke up and I was like, I can't really walk. And I was like, I might have to book in with old Ethan. What's he up to?
Who was that physio that I saw?
Yes. It's been a while. So I think it wasn't the shoulder.
Yeah.
It was then that became the knee,
Yep.
which then became, well, I can't play now for a few months, missed a comp. You know, that was probably the retirement, I guess,
Yep.
was that happening because...
Yeah, I forgot they happened so closely together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was... Because I think there was a bit going on with like the courts that were getting upgraded. So then
That's
the
right.
comp was a shit fight. And so
Yep.
then it was like, right, well, then I could play with my brother, which we couldn't really do in the Tuesday night comp because he had his own team. So I was like,
Yep.
we can have our own little like, go on this other comp. Apparently it was, some good doubles as well, which was, that appealed to me. So yeah, then it was like, well, my shoulder's cooked, my knee's cooked. Like, I might have
What
to...
else can I do?
Yeah, well,
I'm running out of joints.
Yeah. Well,
And that was, so that point there, I guess, the forced retirement. Then we rehabbed the knee, and that mindset changed to you a little bit. Was it because there was a physical injury that we could see on MRI that was diagnosable? Was that a mindset change? Because then you did the EP, then you did the journey, like a little bit better than the shoulder.
I think I definitely probably learnt from the first time, and I think definitely being able to be like I know exactly what's happened. I can see the injury, I can feel the injury. I could see it getting better with each week. Yeah, I came back, I did the EP stuff.
Clearer time frame.
Yeah, it was like, here's what you want to do. This is the point as well in the like journey where I'd always kind of, like since I moved to Wollongong, I started doing a lot of running as well. And this is the point where I was like, starting to really get into my running. And so then that became the like, the thing that really occupied a lot of space in my brain of like, oh, I want to fix my knee because I want to run. And I could feel when I wasn't running, like, even just like mentally, like I just didn't feel good. And so like, I want to get this fixed where I can play tennis with, the shoulder sore, it's frustrating, but like when you're in a knee brace and you can't walk, it's like, and you're like, do not go for a run, whatever you do. And I'm like, shit, okay, fine, I'll do the work.